The last time I tried to do this, all I did was cry. But I'm not going to do that today. I braved up.
Lilier Lodge is absolutely a fantastic facility caring for cancer patients here in the Riverina. And it was established alongside the Riverina Cancer Care Centre. And it's designed to assist people from this region.
So way back in the mid-90s, when the Riverina community decided that travelling to Sydney or Melbourne was just not acceptable. They wanted to have their own service here in Wagga, and it brought together the community to raise an enormous amount of money for a cancer service. And that dream became a reality in 2002 when the Riverina Cancer Care Centre was opened. However, there was a missing element, that patients who were travelling to Wagga needed accommodation. Not just any accommodation, but purpose-built accommodation for cancer patients. And that's what we've been able to achieve as a community group with what you see as Lilier Lodge today.
It was essential to have this accommodation facility so that country cancer patients have equity in the way in which they can access treatment and options to manage their cancer diagnosis.
Prior to the Riverina Cancer Care Centre opening, patients would travel to Sydney, to Melbourne, to Canberra, and they would spend up to 8 weeks, 9 weeks back then, away from family and loved ones. To be able to not travel is an enormous benefit to a cancer patient who's undergoing probably the most stressful period in their life.
You know, after you do, go say, yeah. You know, 5.5 hours of chemo. Do 5.5 hours of chemo with an hour of radiation, you know, every day, and then try to drive home. Not a chance. You come back here and at least you had a bed to fall into and we had someone to talk to.
I think the sad part of anybody being sick is being on their own. But this place, no, you're never on your own here, no way. It's either you, Margaret, or Alison, always passing by the dining room, give it a little wave or a little smile or something like that. And that just makes you feel good.
Lilier Lodge for me was a godsend, and it felt like a safe haven. My mother had breast cancer in 1986, and she was a widowed, elderly Italian lady, and she had to go to the Jean Colvin Hostel in Sydney for treatment. And myself and my siblings, most of us had young children, so we couldn't be there for her. And I know how hard it was for her. And I think she was there for about 8 weeks or something like that. So it was very, very difficult for her. And when I ended up at Lilier Lodge, I just thought how blessed we are in the regional area to have something so close that does what they do.
So we set about looking to raise funds for an accommodation centre, and we had enormous response from Lions Club, from Rotary, from all those service clubs were just amazing, from Goulburn through to Hay. There was relays done from Goulburn to Wagga. There was just an enormous amount of effort put in by volunteers, but we also had to approach the Cancer Patients Assistance Society, as it was then known, and Cancer Council to get them to become partners in this project.
Just to be in that dining room set up in there and while I was here there was a group of 5 of us who were going through prostate cancer, and just about every night we would sort of joke and tell stories, and I still have phone contact with 3 of them. One of the fellows never made it through. Just the social bit in the dining rooms, I think, was the greatest part of it.
One of the funniest nights of my life was here in the dining room, and look, I still laugh when I think back about it with this couple who were here, and just a story the hubby told. It just had his partner and I in fits, and we probably disturbed the whole establishment, but anyway, and if you can have a good laugh, surely that must be good for your well-being, and also for those going through treatment, I still believe it's good for that too.
Why did we call this Lilier Lodge? That was because it was a bequest from Los Lilier, who had passed on and had bequested an amount of money to be spent in the particular purpose of ensuring that people had access to cancer services. And this was a no-brainer. The money came out of that bequest from Cancer Patients Assistance Society and joined by the Cancer Council. And so it was really a testament to that bequest that this facility be named Lilier Lodge, after that wonderful woman who had given a future to so many when they have a cancer diagnosis.
The atmosphere of Lilier Lodge, I think it made our stay a lot easier, a lot better. It was so relaxed, and everybody, management, cleaners, workers, volunteers, everybody was just so relaxed, and it was just so easy.
Wednesday evening meal was always...
Morning teas on Tuesday.
They were always very entertaining. We had a good time there. Well waited on, everything was done for you. You couldn't, you didn't have to lift a finger, just sat there. And perfect.
We walked in and we got introduced to everybody, all the staff and that. I was sort of a bit apprehensive of going there because just thought we'd travel back every day, but we were told we should stay because of the treatment, the radiation. We'd come home on weekends, but we want to go back on Saturday when we got home Fridays. It was just that atmosphere, and there's 32 of us and we keep in touch, and we still keep in touch. We've had 4 reunions.
It's extremely important for families to stick together, and Lilier Lodge plays a really important role of having families stick together. We can have husband and wives and can stay here together, and they can assist each other if a husband or a wife has cancer, and that's extremely important to have that close connection.
Well, every morning taking from here over to your treatment and brought back was just wonderful. And then some day trips. We had day trips. Yeah. That was wonderful to see around Wagga. No, there was lots of things you could do if you chose to do them.
And there's places that I've learnt about in Wagga now that I didn't know about before.
And when I didn't have my glasses on and couldn't put my number in, there was always someone there to do it for me.
One of the standout things from my point of view is the community support that Lilier Lodge has received over the last 20 years and is continuing to receive. One of those is the Wednesday night dinners. For 40 odd weeks of the year, there's a dinner here every Wednesday night. It's a great initiative of Jim and Lynn Gibson to do that, and it just shows you what a supportive, caring community we have here in this city. There's a bus and there's a number of volunteers who drive that bus and ensure that patients get to the Riverina Cancer Care Centre on time. There's a number of other volunteers that you have here as well at this facility, and as I said, we have a very supportive community, and those volunteers play a really significant part in the success of this Lilier Lodge.
The feedback on Lilier Lodge has just been extraordinary over the years, and I've got to say it's a lot to do with the staff. I know that our current staff are just amazingly committed to this task. Over the years we started with Christine, and then we moved with Margaret and Alison, and that commitment, that dedication to the client's well-being here and making it a home away from home, that is what completes the circle. Lilier Lodge is essential to rural and regional people to be able to feel comfortable, to feel that they can have their families here, to know that they can trust the people that are here to care with them and for them. And I think that's a lot put down to the way in which the staff embrace that role. And I've got to pay, enormous tribute because without that committed, dedicated staff, and particularly now of Margaret and Alison, I think that's the most important and key element of the way in which success of Lilier Lodge is represented by the great accolades that come forward and the great testimonials that come forward.
They say time flies when you're having fun. I can't believe it was 2002 that the Riverina Cancer Care Centre opened, and 2004, on the 1st of May, that Lilier Lodge opened its doors. In 20 years, we've seen the development of a service across both organisations that has been constantly benefiting patients, and we want that relationship to be strong for many, many years to come.
I'd like to finish by congratulating everybody involved with this. Over the last 20 years, we've had some wonderful people, wonderful volunteers, and I think that just shows you what a caring community we have here in this city of Wagga Wagga, which I'm very, very proud of. Cancer is something that is ongoing, and more people are being diagnosed with cancer. So I think the need for Lilier Lodge will remain, unfortunately, but it's a home away from home.